Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Standard Definition, the Retro Nostalgia Podcast here on the Boss Rush Network. I am one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is the PC Muscle Race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
What's poppin', yo?
Also joining us is the rising star of Boss Rush Entertainment, the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Pererra. Hi, Mark.
Hey. Hi. Rising star.
Yeah.
That star is definitely on the rise. I'll say that.
Ooh.
I mean,
I
feel like, if I'm being honest, it's surpassed anything that, we've done, at least on the writing side.
Yeah.
Except I saw the numbers for the month, LeRon. You passed me. Good job.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
You were busy this month, though. You were busy with real life stuff.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Oh, don't remind me. Don't remind me. It was so busy this week. Yeah, LeRon, I'll show you pictures and videos of this thing. It was...
You mean outside of what you've already sent me and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Stupid. Oh my gosh. But anyways, stupid as in fun and great and stuff, not stupid as in like stupid.
Right.
But
yeah. Yeah, I figured what you meant.
Yeah. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing good? It's good to be back doing MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I know, it's been a hot minute.
It's the penultimate one before like we end phase one.
I know.
That's right.
It's crazy. We're already almost at the end of phase one.
Oh, how time flies.
Yeah.
Right?
Time flies indeed.
And then we can start phase 1.5 with Agent Carter.
I know. I'm excited for that. By the way,
I've been watching Agent Carter. Like it wasn't on my list of things to watch, but I've been rewatching it. And and I gotta say, here's a small preview for when we do start standard def for Agent Carter. Like, it's a fun ride.
Yeah. I have a huge crush on Haley Atwell, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Just going to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Even though I kind of have a thing for Bridget Regan, Dottie Underwood.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but that's enough of that.
I mean, it's ABC. They're going to hire the most attractive people possible to play these roles, right? I mean,
yeah, but then again, I like strong, powerful women. So
I mean, who doesn't? Don't answer that question.
Republicans.
Anyways, if you need a reminder, we are here to review the MCU for Standard Definition. We are reviewing Captain America: The First Avenger today. It's going to be awesome. Woo! I am excited. I wore my Captain America t-shirt, not just a plain black or a white t-shirt or a hoodie or something. I am here. I am all in on Captain America. You know what makes me excited for Captain America?
Wait. You're not all in Captain America, are you?
I am. I'm all in. I'm inside.
Okay.
I am all up inside.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Do you know the super soldier serum? That's me.
No.
Oh, no, thank you.
Anyways. I really love this movie. But anyways, let's get through this housekeeping before we start the actual show. This is Standard Definition, the Retro Nostalgia Podcast here on the Boss Rush Network, where each and every Monday now, we've changed days, everybody. Monday, for your listening and viewing pleasure, we come together with our friends from around the internet to talk about games, movies, shows, and other topics that make us nostalgic. You can support us and get the show 2 weeks early by heading over to our Patreon, patreon.com/BossRushNetwork, or subscribe on free feeds. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. You can also catch all of our content on our YouTube channel and on bossrush.net. The merch store, buy your Marvel and Review shirts. Really appreciate it if you did that. They're cool. They're popping. We're also going to make a Phase 1 review shirt as well. We're just going to have them ranked, whether you like it or not. So, yeah. Also, by the way, we need to read off March's patron producers.
All right.
Because that's something we have not done, and we are here to do. So,
because we appreciate our patrons and our fans.
We do.
That's correct.
Let's list off our producers. Remember, if you want your name read on any of Boss Rush Network's shows, we will read them as they come in for that episode. These are producers for March 2022. We have Rebecca Jewell, Adrielle Munger, and my wife, Sana Dirrig. So,
wait. She has no cool screener username.
No, not this.
She has nothing. She has nothing. Nobody can stalk her on the internet under.
Nope. Nope.
Nobody can't slide in her DMs.
You can probably find her tagged in something that I've tagged her in if you want.
Are her DMs open?
I don't know. I don't even think she has a Twitter. She does, but she hasn't used it in like 6 years. So I don't know. We'll see. But thank you for supporting the show at the $5 tier. Remember, in April, we are switching up the way Patreon works. We're moving it from 6 tiers to 3 tiers because we feel it is easier. It's just easier for people. The less options you have, the easier it is to pick which one I think sometimes there's too many options.
Absolutely.
So, also shout out to Stoy and David Nystrom and Austin Campbell. They're not producers, but they.
I was about to say, what'd they do?
They pledged a nice chunk. So
okay.
Anyways.
Nice.
All right, let's move on. Captain America: The First Avenger. Great film. I love it. I'm going to give the synopsis, the box office crap, and then I'm going to ask you guys, as is tradition, your overall feelings of the film. Captain America: The First Avenger is the 5th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film stars Chris Evans as the titular character, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, and Hugo Weaving as Red Skull, along with a slew of other actors we will get to in a moment. There's a lot of people in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like people I didn't even realize. Jeez. Released on July 19th, 2011, director Joe Johnson and the writers Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely jumped at the chance to work on the film because of the uniqueness of a period piece superhero movie. So yeah, that's this was pretty unique for the time, I think. So the budget was $140 million, and the box office total was $370.6 million. So almost tripled its budget back, which is okay, I guess, at the time. Obviously not the $1 billion movies every one of these things are every time it comes out now, but at the time, obviously, we didn't really know what this was going to be. At the time, I remember at the time, like the build up to Avengers was like the big deal, not like the cinematic universe, really.
Yeah.
It came out the same year as Thor as well. If you listen to the Thor episode, the notable films are the same: X-Men First Class, Sherlock Holmes, Game of Shadows, Cowboys and Aliens, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, Green Lantern, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Cars 2, Super 8, In Time, Immortals, Warrior, Limitless, Drive, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It was a pretty stacked year for movies that year.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a really weird time for movies where like every week there was a new movie coming out that everybody had to see.
Yeah.
You know, now with the rise of streaming services, you're lucky if you get like one a month. Because everybody's like, I'll wait till it goes to Netflix or Amazon or Disney Plus now is the big one for me. Just like, I'll just wait till Disney Plus gets it. The synopsis of the film: it is 1941 and the world is in the throes of war. Steve Rogers, played by Chris Evans, wants to do his part by joining America's armed forces, but the military rejects him because of his small stature. Finally, Steve gets his chance when he is accepted into an experimental program that turns him into a super soldier called Captain America. Joining forces with Bucky Barnes and Peggy Carter, Captain America leads the fight against the Nazi-backed Hydra organization. So, what do you guys think of the movie, first of all? LeRon, I kind of know your stance.
Mark,
I'm going to go to Mark
I'm
first.
going to let you go first, Mark.
Yeah. I want to hear Mark's take, because the last time Mark was pretty like, I don't really care for Captain America.
Yes. When I first saw this movie, I did not like it. But
There's a but. There's a but.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a huge but.
That's America's ass.
There's America's ass sized butt there. The MCU has done such a good job with the character of Steve Rogers and Captain America that going back and watching this movie, like it might be my favorite of Phase 1.
What?
So
hold
good.
on.
Yeah.
I got that on recording. That's recorded, everybody.
Yeah, because for weeks on the Standard Definition podcast, he was like, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Captain America is not a good enough movie to be a favorite, let alone a best movie of Phase 1. What the?
Well, I said might. But
Did I just walk into the Bizarro world or something? What's going on here?
Who cares? Stop it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Multiverse of Madness, am I right?
That's right.
Somebody's gonna weave a spell, and we're gonna wake up tomorrow morning and not remember who Mark Pererra is.
That's right. I'm gonna delete these files.
All right, Mark, continue.
It was really good. It was very stylist, artistically. Like the style was really cool. The cast is phenomenal. The story's great. I think going into it, when I first saw the movie, I didn't know anything about Captain America. And it just, there's kind of a little bit of a bait and switch. I don't know if this is true of the character in the comics or if it's just in the movie, but when he takes a super soldier serum and then becomes basically like a chorus girl for the war effort. And so it's it just felt like I don't know. I didn't like that the first time that I saw it, but I love I love that it's a period piece. I love things that take place around World War II. Chris Evans is fantastic in it. They do a really great job of building up the relationship between Steve and Peggy. The director's awesome. The score is fantastic. The bad guy's great. I mean, everything about it it's just a good movie.
It's so good.
I wish that more of his movies took place during World War II. It's a shame that, they built up so much of that world in World War II. And then, I know we see the Howling Commandos in Agent Carter. And there's a glimpse of Red. We kind of see Red Skull again, but Tommy Lee Jones, we never see again. I wish that we could go back into this world a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of wish. Look, going back now, I kind of wish Captain America got 2 movies and Iron Man got 1.
Yeah.
If you had to do it that way, right? If you had to switch one out for the other, yeah, I agree. I wish we saw more of the Howling Commandos. I think it would have been cool for, Bucky to die in the second movie sort of thing, or whatever, disappear, I guess. Yeah, I agree with you, but yeah, I wish we got more Captain America fighting Nazi Hydra.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the reason why. Well, I know the main reason why is because they had to get Captain America established because he's the de facto leader of the Avengers, and the Avengers was coming, But I wonder if the reason why they didn't at least do another movie of him in the World War II and post World War II era is simply because they didn't want to go about copying other movies that do those period type pieces, and if that makes sense, of course he'd probably be still fighting Hydra and stuff like that, but based off of what we know, and I'm gonna jump into some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. here real quickly,
Here
Hydra did Hydra just didn't stay like quiet, right after World War II and stuff like that. So it would have been a thing that they would have had to contend with around like other like major like skirmishes and battles that happened in the United States and world history and stuff like that. And I think they want them to do the safe approach with it. That's just my thinking.
Well, I mean, even outside of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Like that's the whole premise of the Winter Soldier. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but like Hydra has infiltrated the government, right? And Zola ends up becoming the real bad guy, right? So,
like he becomes a mastermind.
Yeah. So, Ron, do you have anything else to say about this? I mean,
Captain America, the the First Avenger, Captain America: The First Avenger is definitely my favorite film of Phase 1. It's a shame too because I kind of paid attention when I rewatched this recently. I kind of understand where Mark was coming from with his initial hatred for the movie. Like it seems like he's come to the right side of the coin now, know. But I understand. Like there were some things that probably could have been fleshed out a little bit better. But like I said a few minutes ago, like I believe it was because like they had to like get this guy established, as the leader of the Avengers, and they couldn't go right into the Avengers, and he's still like doing his thing, in World War II and stuff like that. They had to get that all that stuff off the ground for him and stuff like that, and also put him into our current day and age timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'm not a fan of period pieces, but I do like period pieces where they're just having fun. It's not always like doom and gloom and direness and stuff like that. Because I'm not saying I'm an expert in World War II and world history, but typically like documentary style movies, are always like they're not fun romps. They're entertaining, they're educational and stuff like that, but they're not always fun, And this movie was technically done kind of in the style of a documentary, and I did appreciate that, the fantastical stuff, I like how even though Nazi is a wing of Hydra is a wing of the Nazi movement and stuff like that, there wasn't a big focus on the Nazis, in the film, because I think if there was a big enough focus on the Nazis, it would supersede what was going on with Hydra, because this is the movie that establishes Hydra as a thorn in everybody's side for the next 1.5 phases of the MCU movies, but basically the entire run of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So for me, like I'm not a big period piece person either, but this was done in a way that it didn't like it was one, but it didn't really feel like one. It didn't feel like they were trying too hard to make it one, which is why I think it worked for me. Right? I mean, I like seeing the old cars and that kind of set and stuff, but like I don't really enjoy watching movies in the, you know what I mean? Like I enjoy that aesthetic, but I don't like watching things in it, if that makes sense. So I think seeing that and kind of watching it, like it just did a lot in this space that like really made me enjoy it. Haley Atwell is amazing. Tommy Lee Jones is amazing. I thought I wish we would have got more of the Howling Commandos, but like when they were in it, they like owned the scenes they were in, which was cool. Dum Dum Dugan's bowler hat and mustache are amazing in this movie. So I really liked it a lot. This is spoilers for when we go to rank these, but this is my favorite Phase 1 movie. So I will stand by that. I don't care what anybody says. So yeah, Captain America is awesome. So we should. Does anybody else have anything they want to say before we jump into just talking about the characters and the scenes and everything?
Can we talk about the director for a second?
Yeah.
So Joe Johnston, the director, Johnston. He hasn't directed a ton, but let me just read you what he has directed: Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Rocketeer, Young Indiana Jones, The Page Master, Jumanji, October Sky, Jurassic Park 3, and then Shrunk, which is like the continuation of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's coming out soon, and then he's directing the next Chronicles of Narnia. He has had, I mean, that's not a ton of movies to direct, but like, first of all,
those are all pretty good movies.
They're great movies, but like, what a bonkers choice to direct a major act. I mean, he directed, I guess, before Captain America, he directed Jurassic Park 3, so that was very like blockbuster. But
but Rocketeer, I think when it was either like the behind the scenes on the Blu-ray or something on Disney Plus or whatever, when they were talking about this, he said he wanted to do Captain America because he loved directing the period piece of The Rocketeer.
Yeah.
And that's what really drew him towards Captain America, because he also loved comics. He referenced Batman in it. Like, he really liked Batman, and he always like wanted to do a period piece superhero movie, and this is like what he really wanted to do, and the writers kind of implied the same thing, you know. So yeah, I just remember him talking specifically about The Rocketeer and how it really influenced his directing style of this movie specifically, which makes sense because like The Rocketeer was super stylized, and like one of the only things that bothers me about this movie is Red Skull's comically large vehicle that he drives.
Oh, I love his car.
It's so stupid.
It's very stupid.
But The Rocketeer, that's a movie.
There's like a campiness to this movie, but like it's not cringy. Like it's done with like a love for.
There's a lot of heart in this movie.
Yeah, there's a ton of heart, and like in lesser films, Red Skull having a car like that wouldn't work, or like, you know, Captain America's like, you know, I love Americaness wouldn't work, or just a lot of the choices, but like it works really well.
Speaking of the car, like I love when when like the scene where Captain America like busts in to rescue Bucky and winds up rescuing the Howling Commandos, and they just trash that facility.
Yeah.
And the Red Skull's about to like haul ass up out of there. He's got that nice ass plane, and Zola's like, well, what about me? And he tosses in the keys. He's like, what did he say? Don't scratch it or don't dent it.
He says not a scratch.
Not a scratch. There we go.
Not a scratch, Doctor.
I can't imagine that little dude like trying to whip that big ass car though.
Seriously.
I didn't realize how much Toby Jones, who plays Dr. Zolo, has done. He's Dobby in Harry Potter.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't look him up. I know the name is so familiar, but I never looked him up.
Yeah, he's done a lot in this. Let's see. Let me see. He's.
Hold on, I'm looking him up right now.
He's in the Hunger Games. He's in. Where's his thing? There's a couple other things that he.
Let's see.
The Dark Crystal he was in. Christopher Robin, he was the voice of Owl. Obviously Harry Potter we talked about a little bit. So yeah, Atomic Blonde he's in. Sherlock he's in. This TV show with Benedict Cumberbatch. So he's been in a lot of things.
Oh yeah, he has a very impressive resume. Like I just can't believe that I don't like a lot of this stuff. So he's a European actor. He's from the UK. That's why I don't recognize him. That's why he's not. I know the name, but I didn't. Like he's not recognizable. When you look at him, at least to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's in a lot. It's pretty impressive actually how much he's in. It's kind of ridiculous actually. He's in Indiana Jones 5 apparently. So guess he's also in the Tetris movie that's coming out this year.
I didn't realize they were making a Tetris movie.
Gosh, dude, that's gonna be so bad. Why are they making a Tetris movie? Anyways, that's
Yeah.
If it doesn't take place in Cold War era Russia, I don't want to see the movie.
what? Where the
Tetris.
it's actually a crime drama where the co-creator of Tetris murders his family and then commits suicide because he's stuck in his house. That's a true story.
Is that really what it is?
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's what it should be.
Jeez.
Oh.
But
Jeez.
that is a true story though.
That story is a true story. Got it.
All right, let's move into the characters. Obviously, Steve Rogers is played pretty masterfully by Chris Evans. Anytime I see him in anything else now, I can't think it like he is Captain America, right? The way that Harrison Ford is Han Solo to me at this point.
Pretty much.
He's got the look, he's got the believability of what Captain America would believe in at this point, right? Like he's very believable in this role.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to think that like someone who else was up for this role? John Krasinski, I think, was up for this role at one point.
Right.
For real?
Yeah.
He got so far that he screen tested.
Uh-huh.
He put the costume on and screen tested.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But Marvel has long flirted with comedic actors who are like on the cusp of superstardom, like Chris Pratt and Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny has always been in the running of being someone, and John Krasinski and I can't think of anyone else right now, but they're always kind of playing around with that.
Yeah.
From someone from a comedy who wants some a little bit more serious superhero acting chops.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. I need to look up who else was in the running for Captain America. But what do you guys think of Chris Evans as Captain America?
I can't think of anybody else that could have played the part. I really can't, And I'm not sure if it's just me, like, like with a bias or something. Number one, I do love Chris Evans. I do, like he is to me what Ryan Reynolds is to everybody else, to every other dude in the United States at least. But I've always been a Chris Evans fan, even back when he was like a skinny kind of nobody, like back when he was playing in those like teenage like MTV era movies and stuff like that, But honestly, I can't see anybody else playing him. It seems like this part was made for this actor, I'm gonna stop gushing because I'm gonna embarrass myself real soon. So there we go.
Yeah.
I think he was the Human Torch in the two Fantastic Four films,
and I appreciated that part.
And he did a good job in those movies, and so this was a little bit casting outside.
That was also the first movie where he started getting buff.
Right. I mean, not Captain America buff, but he was working on it. But
yeah,
he seems to really, at least while he was playing Captain America, really like inhabit the character, and I feel like he took on the responsibility of portraying that really good, like, American role model. Like
it's almost like the way that when somebody gets cast for James Bond, they like embody that role. Wow.
Yeah.
Like
outside of filming, like
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think he really took on that role and really, like he's got this whole what's it called, a turning point or something like that. The political website where he gets a Democrat to talk about something for a minute, a Republican to give a rebuttal for a minute, and then they each get like 30 seconds to talk about what the Democrat did. But it's very it's like very friendly and not like argumentative, and it's just like, hey, here's what a Democrat thinks about X, and here's what a Republican thinks about X, and then they can kind of debate each other in a friendly, respectful way. And so I feel like he really took on the character of like promoting America and justice and everything. So I think he was an excellent fit.
Yeah. So the other actors considered to play Captain America at one point were John Krasinski, we already talked about, Scott Porter, who was in the Friday Night Lights TV show. He was in a few other things also. Garrett Hudlin, who's kind of big role was in Tron Legacy. Yeah. Which I liked him in that movie. I still really like that movie.
I don't understand why. I don't understand what, did he just not have enough appeal or something? Because like I feel like him he did a good job in Tron. I feel like he should have gotten more role. He should be someone whose name is still in our mouths, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like he was in Friday Night Lights the movie. And then he was in Tron, and then I feel like he just kind of fell off the face of the planet.
Fell off, yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I don't know. I thought he was great in Tron Legacy, though.
Yeah, me too.
Michael Cassidy, who played Jimmy Olsen in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Michael Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And then Jensen Ackles from Supernatural was also considered, but during his audition, Marvel had already committed to Chris Evans internally, and they offered him the role of Hawkeye, and he said no thanks.
Now you know what? I like Michael Cassidy, but I can't see him being Captain America. I like him as an actor too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Jensen Ackles wasn't.
He's in The Boys now, right?
Like I know. Like I am like a super fan of Supernatural, so trust me, I know.
Of course you are. Why does that not surprise me at all?
I can't see him being Captain America either. Like
I can't either.
And I've been a Jensen Ackles fan since, you remember the TV show Dark Angel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with Jessica Alba.
I remember that show? Of course I do. That show was on at the right time.
We're red-blooded American men. Of course we remember that show.
Gosh. I was at the right age when that show came out, let me tell you. I don't remember anything about that show.
I was at the right age too, because she was legal, so it doesn't matter.
Oh man. So yeah, he's I can't imagine anybody but Chris Evans playing Steve Rogers
for real.
At this point.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's to be fair though, like I can't imagine anybody else playing any of these characters anymore. It's just so ingrained in our culture and our minds at this point.
Wait, could you imagine somebody else besides let's just do his name. Why am I drawing all sorts of blanks tonight here? The first guy that played Rhodes. Could you imagine
Terrence Howard?
Else? Yeah, could you imagine someone else besides Terrence Howard?
Yeah, because I did not like Terrence Howard.
Well,
and by the time I was invested in the MCU, Don Cheadle was already Rhodes. So,
but to be perfectly honest, I could imagine someone other than Don Cheadle playing Rhodes. I don't think that the two are synonymous.
Yeah. Honestly, what Terrence Howard did, Terrence Howard played a very convincing, like Colonel in the United States Army.
I know we already had this conversation, but I don't think he did. I think he was a terrible military person. I mean, of course, you would know better than me because you were in the military, but to me, I don't know.
Trust me. Colonels usually have a stick further up their ass than you think, because they are one step away from being general at that point. So they usually have a big stick up their ass.
All right. Well, I believe you. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about Terrence Howard and
we're not.
And Colonel Rhodes. Nope. And
we can have that discussion after the Avengers, I guess.
We'll talk about that when we get to Civil War.
Yeah. Oh God, Civil War. It's so far away.
Or Age of Ultron.
God, that's at the rate we're going, that's like 2 years away. Bucky Barnes played Sebastian Stan. So I'm going to admit, when I first saw this movie, I was not convinced about Sebastian Stan. Because the only other thing... Okay. You guys are going to laugh at me, but it's okay. The only other thing I'd ever seen him in was that original run of Gossip Girl.
Oh.
And
okay.
He was like a shithead in that show. I love that show, but he was a shithead in that show. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude. He's totally a villain. Like, get him out of here, And like he wasn't great. He wasn't like a great actor in that show. He was like a side character that was only in, let's see, it was a CW show, so there's what, like 25 episodes a season, and he was in maybe like 4 or 5 episodes a season.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't sold on him, you know, until the Winter Soldier. I was like, oh man, he's awesome. He's, you know, whatever. He's great. But
yeah, I felt like he was forgettable. And so much the character was forgettable than you know,
they didn't do a good enough job for me in this
selling
movie. Selling him as Cap's best friend and how important he was to Cap. I mean, they tried, right? They did try, but like, I don't feel like he was in the movie enough for us to care about when he, you know, quote unquote died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so that's kind of the problem of this movie. The problem is it skips so much time because they've got that big montage in the middle where he's fighting the war. And I think that was my initial problem when I first saw it was it seemed too fast, right? Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden then his best friend dies, but like, was he his best friend? And he and Peggy are in love, but they've known each other for 20 minutes. And like, it just seemed very, like really fast.
You know what? That's,
I mean, it was the course of the war, so like it was years.
Yeah. Honestly, if they would have introduced Captain America now, Captain America totally would have been a Disney Plus show. I feel like.
I think so.
If they would have done like a period piece Disney Plus show for Captain America, this would have been.
Yeah. What you just said, Mark, is the same thing because you know, I thought I was doing something special. Like the night I finally sat down to rewatch this movie. My boyfriend watched it with me. He wanted to watch this one because he hadn't seen it yet. And I remember we watched the movie and stuff, you know, and the movie was over and, you know, I turned the TV off and everything. I turned to my side, look at him on the couch, and I was like, well, that's my favorite movie of this phase of Marvel. What do you think? And he gave me like this side eye. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. And basically everything you just said, Mark, was the same stuff he said. And I was like, don't ruin this for me. Don't ruin this for me. I enjoyed this movie. I loved it for what it was and everything, you know. And this is the reason why I'm not a movie critic because I enjoy movies that are fun. I do. Like I don't sit there and I don't, unless there's something horribly wrong with the plot, which the only thing I can, you know, like fault this movie for is like it crammed way too much. Mm-hmm. And it's not even the first Marvel movie that runs long. It's not.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it just crammed way too much in there, and it basically gave my boyfriend a sense of whiplash because he had questions. He was like when Cap is like when after he rescues the guys who would become the Howling Commandos and stuff, and Cap gives them the rundown of what's going on with Hydra, you know, and stuff like that, you know, like they're like well don't get too comfortable because we're creating a team. To get this done, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm already working on a team too." And you know, next thing you know, we had the Howling Commandos and stuff. One of the big questions was for my boyfriend was what do we even know about these guys besides the fact that he rescued them from POW? We don't even know how long they were POWs and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there was no backstory and there was no character building and stuff like that. You know, I understand. Sorry, my phone just went off. I understand. You know, like why the average person who's not a fanboy like I am, you know, would ask those questions. You know, I get it.
You know what would be cool actually. Would be like a Howling Commandos Disney Plus show now.
Yes. Yeah, it would, but I think most of those actors are doing stuff like you know, like Ken Choi, for example.
I don't care.
Is in 911.
I don't care. Throw some Disney money at them. That's fine. The mouse can write checks. We know that.
This is true.
Let them stroke a check to me. I'll be in whatever show they want me to be in.
I know we got a little bit of them in Agent Carter. You know, and whether or not that show is canon or not has never really been fleshed out. Which I mean, I assume that it is, right? But
we got them in Agent Carter. We got them for a couple episodes of Agent Carter. We got them in one episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
but I think going back to how rushed the movie was. I think as good of a job as Marvel did with the character of Captain America throughout the course of all of the movies that they've done, in his solo films, they really have given him the short end of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
This movie had to set up who the character was and get him to present day.
Mm-hmm.
Really, Winter Soldier is, I feel like, the only true, like, real time that they spend with Captain America, because it's really about him.
Yeah.
See, I feel like the Winter Soldier is almost more about Bucky, rescuing Bucky, and
Yeah, but I mean, it also plays a lot into
honestly,
him having to deal with being in modern day.
About it,
yeah.
If we think about it right now, every movie that is a Captain America movie was actually a movie to spotlight some other character.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier was Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
Civil War was obviously
Avengers
Black Panther.
2.5.
It was Black Panther.
Yeah.
Wait, how many? Wait. Wasn't there one more Captain America? I want to say it was 4.
It's just those 3.
Yeah. Was it those 3? I thought there was 4.
Well, it's confusing because he's like, he's like the leader of the Avengers, but also he has 3 solo movies, but also those solo movies are kind of Avengers movies characters. Sometimes.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So,
Captain America movies are fun. Y'all are going to convince me otherwise.
I mean, let's see. You in Winter Soldier though, you introduce Falcon. You introduce or you reintroduce Bucky. You reveal like the whole Hydra takeover thing. You give Black Widow like a major role in that movie, right? Which I can't wait till we get to Winter Soldier because
was it a major role for her?
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Kinda.
I'm sorry. I'm just being mean to Scarlett Johansson. I'm sorry.
I don't get me started on her. I don't think she's a great actress. But anyways, let's sorry, we kind of got off track there. Anyways, just to kind of round it out, Sebastian Stan didn't really sell Bucky in this movie, but I also think that that's because of the direction of the movie, like Mark said. Like they just, it was this time period of Captain America should have been 2 movies.
You know a character I did love in this movie though? Man, Howard Stark.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Anybody else have anything to say about Bucky?
No, I mean I thought he was fine.
He's
better in other movies, but I think that again, if you watch this movie as it takes place over the course of I think like 3 years during World War II, like I think it establishes a good history between the two. It's quick and brief, and if you watching it, he's a completely different character than when he's the Winter Soldier, and so it makes his transformation into the Winter Soldier a lot more tragic because he's a lot more fun-loving and less serious than Steve Rogers, and all of that is gone. And so it's
shocking. It's shocking the next time we wind up seeing Bucky. It's shocking.
Yeah.
Right.
I do want to say though, the train scene where he catches the shield and throws it, I got really excited because I knew in one timeline he would become Captain America.
Yeah.
And obviously we didn't know the Falcon was in it yet, so like I kind of assumed like, oh, Chris Evans will do his 3 movies, like just back then, just assuming because like everybody only ever signs on for 3 movies, right? And then they're out.
And then Sebastian Stan would take over.
Mm-hmm. I was like, he's a lesser known actor. They can pay him less, and this will be his time to shine. He'll get the Captain America role, and we'll move forward, right?
Right.
Because like that was the problem also for me in this movie is because like I already knew Bucky Barnes was the Winter Soldier at this point,
So I didn't.
Oh,
I
you
did not.
didn't?
I did not.
I didn't.
Oh.
How'd you know?
I don't remember if I read it in like an X-Men crossover or I just read like this random run of Captain America comics when I was younger. I don't remember, but I just knew that Bucky Barnes was the Winter Soldier at one point.
I see.
And I was like, oh, well, he's clearly not dead when he falls off the thing. Right. And I just knew.
Oh, I thought he was a dead motherfucker.
Yeah,
I did too. I really didn't know anything about the character or anything.
And that's even with me knowing that Bucky was going to be Captain America at some point in the Marvel Comics version of it. I knew that,
Yeah.
But I saw that and I was like, you know what? I was like, MCU movies don't fuck around like that. So I was like, he's dead.
Yeah. So when he died, and then like the next movie was called The Winter Soldier, I'm like, oh, cool, Bucky's back. Like that was the first thing I heard. My thought was, oh, Bucky's coming back. So I was like, oh, how are they going to bring him back? Because like, I didn't know how they were going to bring him back, but obviously,
Yeah.
So
he never died. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, not the problem. That's what happened.
So Peggy Carter played just perfectly by Haley Atwell. Let's be honest here. She's arguably the best part of this entire movie at points. She's awesome.
Yes.
So awesome. She got her own series.
Yeah.
They brought her back in What If.
Yeah, and she'll probably be
absolutely bringing her back in Doctor Strange too. There's no way she's not.
Yeah, dude. If she comes back as Captain Britain, I'm gonna freak out. It's gonna be awesome.
Which leads me to a problem though, because there's a Captain Britain in the Marvel
It
universe.
doesn't matter, LeRon. This is the MCU.
But she's Captain Carter. She's not Captain
Captain
Britain.
Carter. Thank you.
Whatever, same thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So there could be a Captain Britain.
Yeah, which I guess the rumor for a while was Henry Cavill wanted to play him if he wasn't going back as Superman. Was the rumor for a while?
Have they secured that now?
I don't know. It's all secret. Who knows? Who knows? Right? Who knows? Who really knows? But man, she's awesome in this movie. Like when the one army dude is like kind of making fun of her, and she like punches him in the face, and that scene was awesome.
Yeah.
When she's like chasing people through after obviously Stanley Tucci's character gets shot, right, and she's like chasing after that guy. When she shoots Captain America when he holds the shield up because the one chick was flirting with him, right? That was hilarious. She's awesome in this movie.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah.
And this is a plug for the Standard Def where we talk about Cinderella. I'm watching the live action Cinderella, and she's in that, and she's just a really great actress.
She's
really
in
good.
that?
She's Cinderella's mom. I mean, she's in it for a minute, but she's really, really good. I mean, she's just a good actress. She should be in more things.
Yeah. Why isn't she in more things?
I don't know.
She's Lara Croft in the new animated Netflix thing, by the way.
Oh yeah?
So that's gonna be cool. Supposedly. Right?
Okay.
I think so. I think that was a big thing that they announced.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anybody else want to talk about Peggy Carter for a minute?
I think you summed it up.
Yeah. I think, like, even though there's such a short amount of time for their relationship to build, I feel like she makes it believable also,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just, especially, like, I know future Endgame, whatever, we'll get there, but, like, just seeing her and him dancing, that callback.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Shed a tear.
But,
man.
like, the way
that
this movie ended, like, I feel like Captain America is just such an endearing, like, honest character. This movie ended. He just found out that he's been frozen for 70 years, and he's like, I had a date. And then it just ends. And then how Avengers Endgame ends with them just dancing. Like, it's I don't know. I feel like at the hands of a lesser actor, it would have been really corny. But it's just super endearing.
Yeah.
No, I loved when I loved, spoiler alert, I loved in Endgame when they're going back to do the thing, to reverse everything. And he he's in, him and Tony Stark are on a military base and they're infiltrating, and he just happens to look through this office window and he sees her.
Yeah, and he stops for a minute and he thinks,
and she's being her normal badass boss self, Yeah. And then it was like she got this little glint of intuition that she was like he's here, and as fast as she looks around, he's gone.
Yeah, and isn't there a picture of two kids on her desk, right?
Oh,
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Was that in Endgame or was that in which one does she die in?
That was
Civil War.
Civil War.
I can't remember.
Well, yeah, I mean, at that point she had family,
right?
Family, because we've got Sharon Carter.
But I mean, it was. we'll talk about it then, but theoretically it could have been his kids if he goes back, right? Because isn't old Captain America, like, didn't they confirm that he's carrying the casket with Chris Evans? Like, he's the guy in the back?
Is he really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure the Russo brothers Russo brothers confirmed that.
We're doing too much.
I know we are. But like,
right now.
it's just like
we're being fanboys.
There's all these threads and stuff that just, I don't know. She's just a great character. I wish she was in more. I hope that they, after Multiverse of Madness, she gets her own movie as Captain Carter or whatever, or like Disney Plus brings Agent Carter back for a third season or something. Like,
yeah,
I would just love that. All right, let's move on to Howard Stark, played comically by Dominic Cooper. If you don't know, I mean, if you're watching this and you haven't watched the movie, I don't know why you're watching this, but he's also in Preacher for FX, I think, too. Pretty good Howard Stark.
Yeah.
He's pretty funny. He clearly watched Robert Downey Jr. play Tony Stark at one point. It was like, how do I make this fit into the 1940s?
I think honestly I feel like when they handed him the role, they were like, "Hey, this is what you need to be like."
Yeah.
So I liked him in this movie, but I don't like how they've done Howard Stark throughout the MCU, because it was John Slattery in
the
Iron
movies.
Man 2.
Yeah. Wait! I thought it was always the same actor.
No, the first movie.
Iron Man 2, it's John Slattery, the guy from Mad Men.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in Civil War, it's John Slattery again.
Uh-huh.
And then
adult Howard Stark is John Slattery, and then young is Dominic Cooper, which, like, they don't really even look alike, but
no, which that I can kind of get over, but like he's like super goofy, silly, kind of Tony Starky in this, and then when he's John Slattery, he's like a dick to his kid and is like not.
Yeah.
Like he's very like.
Yeah, we need some backstory for how that happened.
Right. I don't know. It just seems kind of scattershot how they did that.
Uh-huh.
I liked him in this movie, and I like him even more in Agent Carter. But I don't know. I just don't like how they've handled the character throughout the different movies.
Yeah. No, I understand. That's like the one of the characters that there's like, no, hey, maybe we'll do it this way, maybe we won't. I don't know yet, you know?
Right.
And I get when they were filming this movie, they didn't really have a roadmap of how they were going to handle Howard Stark either.
Right.
But yeah, no, I totally understand that.
Right. But I mean, I liked him in this movie. He's just a completely different character than we've come to know in the MCU, and then we'll continue to know in the MCU. Like, he just shows up in the MCU proper in this movie, and then we never see him again. And even in Endgame, it's John Slattery. So it's just kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's man, now that you say that, now all I'm thinking about is like, man, they needed to like really figure out what they were going to do with this character, because like obviously John Slattery, they're like, you need to be this stoic dad figure who like kind of ignores his children, but then you have this one where they're like, hey, see how Robert Downey Jr. is playing Tony Stark, be him, but in 1940 whatever, right? And now it's just like totally different. I don't know. Now you got me thinking about it. Timelines.
Sorry, not trying to bring it down.
You did. You hurt my feelings. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, even at the Stark Expo, right, when he's showing off the flying car or whatever,
right?
He's like, I did say it would be a couple years, didn't I? Because it broke.
Right.
That was funny. Anyways, anybody else have anything to say about how?
I did like, though, about the expo, like, it was a nice callback to, or I guess call forward to Iron Man 2, because that's what that was the expo he was bringing back. So
yeah,
I thought that was nice.
Yeah, it was cool. Um, anybody have anything else to say about Howard Stark?
No.
No. Okay. Stanley Tucci's character, Dr. Erskine, is awesome.
Yeah.
He's such a great kind of mentor character, kind of, to Steve, in a way.
I mean, he's just great in everything that he's in. If you need someone who is like endearing to the audience and is like just a nice comfort to see, like Stanley Tucci should be in your movie.
Yeah. Which was sad because he was diagnosed with cancer a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah. And but he has like a new, I don't know, I read there was a magazine that came to our house, and Stanley Tucci was on the cover, and he's doing like some cooking thing now.
During quarantine he like was big into making drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
He would post it on social media.
Yeah, and he is like, yeah, this is kind of how I coped with being diagnosed, and then I mean he's better now, but like he said it was really scary, and he tried to make a list of all the things he wanted to do because he didn't know how serious it was going to get or whatever. So, but I agree with you. He's just like a comforting presence in anything he's in.
Yeah.
He made Transformers 4 bearable.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Oh, you don't need to. It was bad.
I have no desire to.
But I like the scene where he's kind of explaining to Steve how, you know, good becomes great, bad becomes worse. And they go to like drink together, and he takes the glass from Steve. He's like, no, you have a procedure tomorrow. He's like, and so he's like, well, I don't have a procedure tomorrow, and he drinks them both.
Yeah. Steve goes rain check, and he goes, no, I drink both.
Oh man, he's cool. I really like how it also did the thing where obviously a lot of people at the time thought all Germans were bad, and it kind of gave you like a perspective of like, you know, not everyone who's associated with this bad thing is bad. You know, it's kind of like, it's almost like how we are, not to like timestamp this episode or anything, but you know, how we kind of view Russia right now. Obviously not every Russian person is a terrible person, you know. And
you say not to timestamp when we're talking about this, but I feel like you could go back to lots of times in history where Russia has been a bit problematic.
I know.
We could be talking about this in the 90s. We could be talking about this today. We could be talking about this
probably in like 20 years from now. Right. But, you know, I mean, obviously not every Russian person is a bad person, and this is obviously Putin's war and everything, not Russia's war. But, like, in general, people are like, oh, Russia's bad, you know, and this is obviously at a time where everybody's like, oh, Germany's bad. And this just showed a different side of like, oh, well, not all Germans are Nazis, you know?
Right.
So I really liked that kind of angle.
Yeah. He goes, Steve Rogers goes, where are you from? And he goes, Queens. And then he says, before that, wherever he's from.
Mm-hmm.
That made me laugh.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I was really sad that he died so early in the movie.
Yeah, this whole movie is filled with like characters who are gone too soon. Like I want to see more. I want more of this world.
Yeah. You know who didn't die early though, guys? Colonel Phillips, played very hilariously by Tommy Lee Jones.
Probably my favorite part of the movie was Tommy Lee Jones. He was great. He was so good.
Yeah. He's so good. He's so like, I mean, his delivery is so, it's almost like the way we talk about Jeff Goldblum or you know, just memeable delivery at points. Yeah. But
like it's like he doesn't give a shit. It's like Tommy Lee Jones couldn't be bothered to be in this movie. Yeah. He just, that's the character, which it like is fitting for his character, but it's just like, he's really, I want to see more of him.
I know.
In this role also. Like he just was really great.
I know, it's so good. And like he ends up driving the car at the end, the comically large car, and it's just so funny to watch. It's so,
And it kind of makes me feel like, because I don't know, I have a difficult time separating Tommy Lee Jones from the characters that he plays, because he's usually like the gruff, doesn't care kind of guy. And so it's kind of like he was like, okay, the only way I'm going to do this, the only way I will do another superhero film, because he was Two-Face, is if there's no chance for me to ever come back. And so he's like, great, a period piece.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into the present day. So great, I'll be in this movie. Like, I feel like that was like in his contract.
Yeah. He's so good. Like he's just Dum Dum Dugan, played by Neil McDonough, who he's in a lot of like the CW stuff now, and he does a lot. He has a very distinct look. You know, he has like the one thing I always notice about this dude is like he has these piercing blue eyes that are just like they're just like pop out of his face, like you know. But he's great as Dum Dum Dugan. I love Dum Dum Dugan's look. It's so fun. He's Dum Dum Dugan is the leader of the Howling Commandos, which we kind of touched on the Howling Commandos a little bit, but I think they're great in this movie too. So we could probably talk about the villains of the movie now. Obviously, Hydra is the big bad organization, Nazi organization. Red Skull, played very, very capably by Hugo Weaving.
I'll tell you, that man plays some of the best villains.
Yeah, he's so good at it.
He plays some of the best villains. Jesus.
But then he goes around and then he's Elrond from Lord of the Rings, and he's like an ally and not a villain at all, and does that fantastic as well. He's just a great, really good actor.
Yeah.
Who reportedly like hated making this movie.
Yeah.
And is why he didn't come back for Infinity War and Endgame, because he was like, it was a horrible experience for him.
Yeah. Yeah. But the guy that got to play him, though, like you couldn't tell, you know.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah. Supposedly he's the voice actor for Red Skull in one of the cartoons, one of the Disney cartoons or something. Or maybe the video games or something. But yeah, I mean, I thought he did really well. I liked all the little, like, through the movie, you could see parts of his face start kind of like peeling a little bit, or like, you know, just some of it was coming off, some of it was, you know, just throughout the movie, you could see little touches like that where, like, obviously his face wasn't his real face at the going forward, or like his face was starting to come off because, you know, obviously, Dr. Erskine said that like bad becomes worse, right? And so he was becoming worse. So maybe his true form was coming through, and his face, you know, obviously his face was coming off. But like, it was really like alarming when he just like ripped his face off,
ripped the mask off.
Especially right before, when Captain America punches him in the face and his eye socket starts to show a little bit, and it's just red right there. And so it's like, because again, I'm not familiar with the character, so I had no idea that this was coming in the movie, and so I'm like, what happened to his eye? Yeah. And then
you never knew about Red Skull before this movie?
I mean, no, I don't. I'm not a comic book reader, and I'm not really a Marvel fan, so I don't really know a ton of stuff, or I didn't know a ton of stuff about Marvel movies are coming out.
Yeah. I mean, to be 100% fair too, like, if it wasn't X-Men, like, a lot of it I just kind of learned either through my friends or like some other form, you know. So like, I mean, I read a lot of X-Men, but like, other than that, like, a lot of it was stuff that I learned through the MCU, or if I knew a movie was coming up, I like did some research on some stuff, you know.
I feel like anyone that knows X-Men though should know about the Red Skull, just for the simple fact Wolverine fought in World War II.
Yeah, no, I knew about Red Skull. Like, I knew about Red Skull because I read that run.
Okay.
But
I will say what's nice about what I really like about Red Skull and his portrayal in this movie is I feel like especially modern day superhero movies need to have the villain be somewhat sympathetic or somewhat like you have to be able to see his or her reasoning, and he's just like a good old fashioned mustache twirling like bad guy. You know, it's the same I feel about Kate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok. Like it's just fun to have a villain that you don't have to sympathize with, that, you know, doesn't want to bring balance to the universe by wiping off, you know, getting rid of half of the of life. Like just he just wants to be bad and wants as much power as he can get. And it's just like, and he's just, I don't know, he was miserable making the film, but it looks like he's relishing just being that bad guy. Like he's, and it's just fun to watch, just to have just a bad guy who just kind of wants to watch the world burn. Like,
yeah, it would have.
It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have that. I mean, obviously, there's no sympathizing with like a Nazi general, probably anyway.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. It was nice to, especially because there's so many characters to care about in this movie anyway, that like adding a villain that you had, like, you know, supposedly had to sympathize with would have just not been great for this cast, I think. So yeah, I thought the fight scene where like he reveals himself in the hangar, right, where they have to do those crazy jumps across the bridge or whatever, and then you know, just that little mini montage in between there where like they're in like the ruins of buildings and stuff, and they're trying to find them and whatever. It was like just seeing him as Red Skull is just like it's kind of gross in a way. It's like it's like I don't really know how to describe it. It's almost cartoony, but it's also just like it's not cartoony in a way where like it's laughable, but it's almost comically realistic in a way too. Right. Especially like where his nose comes down and it like, you know, it actually looks like a skull where his nose is. They did a really good job designing this character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, his kind of the doctor, Arnim Zola, who kind of ends up becoming the mastermind of Hydra after this movie, played very ably by Toby Jones. He's a great character. I don't know why or how they chose him to play this role, because like I kind of feel like he was definitely like a 80s style Minion kind of character almost in this movie. But he was great. Like he's great in this. He's great in The Winter Soldier for the small time he's in it. Right. He's just great. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about him at all. I mean, he's not really in it a whole lot, but
the one thing that I didn't pick up on until I rewatched it this time, and I'd seen First Avenger a few times before. Mm-hmm. The one thing I didn't pick up is that you see initially he's actually like Zola's character is actually a Nazi movement true believer. Mm-hmm. And then as Red Skull like opens his mind to like the cosmic sciences that are out there and stuff, then he becomes more and more like, you know, towards the side of Hydra, because now he's also had his interest piqued in like this mysticism that's out there, and you know the fact I can't remember what exactly like it was that Red Skull actually promised him if he stuck with him, but it was right there that you saw it. It was like, because I remember he was asking, but what about the Fuhrer? You know, right. And it was like, you stick with me, the Fuhrer won't even matter.
Right. And then like when he was experimenting with the Q, when they found the Tesseract, right, and like they were actually doing experiments with it and saw the power of it, like you could like literally the look he gave in his eyes was like you could see his mind flip, right?
Yeah.
Literally in that moment, we're like, oh, if I can control this, he's right. Obviously Hitler won't matter, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, very, very great. Very just sold the whole Minion Doctor style character.
Yeah.
And then obviously at the end of the movie, Nick Fury comes in. Oh, sorry. One last thing I want to say about Zola when they capture him, right? And Tommy Lee Jones is sitting there and he gets his dinner. It's like a steak and a baked potato and a glass of milk, which was like, oh my gosh, that's so 40s and
very
50s.
40s.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh man, very Mad Men. It reminded me of Mad Men as well. But that whole scene is just hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like Zola kind of tells him the plan right there, what his plan is. And Tommy Lee Jones like, yeah, no, you're just going to be a prisoner and you'll die in prison or whatever.
Right.
But it totally foreshadows Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, anyways, at the end of the movie, obviously, when Captain America, when they unfreeze him and he's in the fake doctor's office or whatever, like when he wakes up in the bed and he wakes up, I think the coolest part of the scene was like they played the baseball game and he recognized the baseball game on the radio, and he thought he was captured by Hydra or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And he runs outside and he's in the present day and like all the SUVs roll up and Nick Fury gets out and kind of tries to explain it to him. That whole scene was cool.
Yeah, so my sister was in New York while they were filming that scene, and she told me when she came back, I was like, "Hey, how was New York?" And she was like, "It was great." And I got to watch a scene for a movie get filmed, and so I was like, "Oh, that's cool. What movie?" And she was like, "I don't know, but Samuel L. Jackson was there, and there was this really buff guy in a white T-shirt who was there too, and there was like a circle of cars around them and like
That's
people or whatever." And I was like, and then I saw the movie and I was like, what? Like, how cool is that? And she had no idea what
That's so
she
cool.
was watching. But yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, that whole scene was great, and obviously that it sets up the Avengers. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Are there any other characters? I mean, we hit all the major players. There's like I said, there's a ton of characters in this movie that you should care about, or they want you to care about at least.
Yeah. And we can't fail to mention that one of the Howling Commandos is the grandfather or great grandfather of the principal in Ant-Man or Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and you see a picture of the Howling Commando in his office, and it's played by the same actor. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so any other moments that we didn't talk about? Any favorite moments? Any least favorite moments? Anything we missed with Captain America? I think I can't really think of a bad scene. I do really like the chase scene at the beginning when Chris Evans figures out he can run real fast and he doesn't have breathing problems anymore and he's not small and he just like sprints down the street. He uses the car door as the shield, which is like, foreshadowing obviously later. I thought the old lady that was like technically the security guard with the umbrella Tommy gun was hilarious, even though she dies pretty horrifically, but still.
We didn't talk about how great for 2011, which I mean obviously wasn't that long ago, but how fantastic the graphics were of skinny Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
And how like even later stuff that Marvel has done, like they did some cool stuff with de-aging and stuff like that. But I don't think that it's been nearly as good as what they did. Obviously, they had to really sell that to sell the heart of the story, but their work on making him look skinny, which I read they had to film it 4 different times. They had to film it once with Chris Evans, like in the scene, and then once with just Chris Evans in front of a green screen and no one else around him, and then once with his body double, who is the skinny body double in the scene, and then once with all the other actors but no Steve Rogers, and then they just edited all 4 together to make it this one scene. But like it paid off. Like it's very believable. He looks, I think he looks really real.
It was really believable, right? And like I think getting a small body double and like putting the body double up against taller actors like Sebastian Stan, I think is like 6 foot, I think.
Right.
You know, getting these taller characters, and or even like when he's sitting in the doctor's office with Stanley Tucci, because Stanley Tucci is not a tall person, but he's obviously bigger than this body double in this movie, and so it makes it believable, you know. So yeah, I agree. I think that was pretty. I think the scene that sells it the most is when he's fighting the bully in the alley with the trash can lid.
Yeah,
that scene was super believable. Because obviously in the movie theater you can kind of hide it, right, with lighting and camera angles and stuff, but like in that scene in particular, he's like standing there, right, fighting this bully, and you could see the body in the face and everything. It's super believable.
Right.
Yeah, I think the next time that was actually kind of believable was when they de-aged Robert Downey Jr. in which movie was that? Where I think it was Civil War.
Yeah, it was Civil War.
Which was like the next time that it was super believable. So, yeah, that's a good scene. The scene where Steve is getting drunk after Bucky dies and he realizes he can't get drunk, which is kind of sad, and he's still sitting there drinking, trying as hard as he can. That was a pretty good scene. So I think there's got to be a least favorite scene for everybody.
I don't know about least favorite scene. I didn't. I think I said this before, but I didn't like how fragmented the story was and how it like you never really got time to develop these characters. It just was like time passed, but I don't think that they did a good job. I mean, it was clear that time was passing, and it was clear that by the end of the movie the war was won. But a simple like date on the screen showing like you know, April 1942, you know, June 1942, May 1943, like just showing that time is passing and being more explicit about that, I think would help lend weight to the relationship between Steve and Peggy, and you know, how people are starting to see Steve Rogers as this true hero. And I just think so. It's not necessarily one particular scene. I just don't really love how they handled the passage of time.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I also didn't really care for like the kind of forced jealousy it seemed that like Steve had for Peggy when Howard was kind of like asking her out to dinner on the plane or whatever.
Yeah.
And then turned around and the one blonde chick was flirting with Chris Evans or with Captain America, and like Peggy kind of didn't like that either.
I honestly feel like they could have pulled that off a lot better, honestly, because I don't feel like Peggy Carter is the jealous type like that. I really don't. And the reason why I say I really don't feel like it is because like when we started talking about Agent Carter, like there's some stuff that goes on in that where, you know, like she does have some romantic interests in other people, and that situation will come up again, and she doesn't even handle it even similarly to how she did in Captain America. Yeah.
So that was like the one thing that kind of didn't really do it for me. It felt really forced, especially because of, you know, what Mark said previously is like they didn't do a great job of saying, oh, well, how long have they been interested in each other? Do they know they're interested in each other? Like, how long has their relationship been going? How long, like, what's the time span of this movie, technically, you know, like Mark said. So that whole thing was like, it felt really forced. And, you know, not that the actress that was I think it's Natalie Dormer. I think it's the actress. But it just didn't do it for me. So I did like the implementation of like that original shield though, right? Where like the kind of like the pointy shield where he was like reading off the back of it.
Show shield. Yeah.
And you know, him kind of taking this weird fake shield into battle with him when he went to rescue everybody.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, but so after credit scenes, thoughts on the after credits scene. It was the boxing scene, right? Where he's boxing.
That wasn't.
Was that this one?
That wasn't really an after credit scene. That was preview for Avengers.
But that was I didn't watch the after credit scene this time. But I thought when we watched it in theaters, what happened next was basically what happened at the end of after Spider-Man. It was just a trailer for the Avengers. Like after Spider-Man No Way Home, it was a trailer for Doctor Strange 2. That was the post-credit scene, and so I feel like that's what this was, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
I swear it was like the boxing scene where he's like punching the bag and then he punches it so hard that it goes into the wall. Was that not it? And then Nick Fury comes in and hands him the folder?
That's also a scene from Avengers. When you first see Captain America in Avengers.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think you're right. I think they showed that scene after.
They did.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe they just didn't have one and they just used this scene as like you said, as a preview.
Right.
Anyways.
So it says here, in a cut down scene from the Avengers, Nick Fury gives Steve Rogers an assignment with worldwide ramifications.
Mm-hmm.
So it is that scene. It's a version of that scene from the Avengers.
Yeah. Which was cool. I feel like at this point, Steve is really like a sympathetic character. Like, how do you just jump 70 years into the future, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we don't know what 70 years into the future looks like for us, you know? I mean, I can't imagine what it would look like for somebody from the 1940s jumping into 10 at the time, 2011, 2012, I guess.
Yeah, for real.
It's crazy. All right, guys. Who wants to rank Captain America? Let me pull up the Discord and see what our rankings are.
Remind us where we're at.
Yeah, I should have been pulling this up earlier, but it's okay. I was charging my mouse because it died twice during this recording. Not Nintendo Power Block. We are going to standard definition Marvel Cinematic. Okay. Pinned messages. All right, so here's our MCU ranking so far. Everybody. Number 4. So we've ranked 4 movies. This is our 5th movie. Number 4 is Incredible Hulk. Number 3, Iron Man 2. Number 2, Thor. Thanks, LeRon, for giving Mark that one. And Iron Man sits at number 1. So let's see. Captain America. I'm going to let you guys go first. I know where. So personally, I would put this at number 1, but like as an overall kind of rewatching and kind of looking at the MCU right now, I feel like I would put it just under Iron Man, even though it is my favorite Phase 1 movie. My heart wants to put it number 1, but I feel like I have to be realistic at this point.
Uh-huh.
Either way, it goes above Thor. But Mark, you have the most interesting take on this movie. You have the biggest flip on this movie.
Okay, here's the thing.
This better be a good thing.
I feel like, for me, when Thor is operating on all cylinders, it is a better movie than Captain America.
Ugh.
But consistency-wise, overall, Captain America is a better movie than Thor, right? But the highs of Captain America do not reach, to me, the highs of those scenes on Asgard between Loki and Odin and Thor. They don't reach those highs for me. So, I think for me, I think it would have to still be Thor would be my number 1.
Oh,
and I can't pick between Iron Man and Captain America.
Really?
But if I had to pick, I think it would be Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor 2.
All right. So you would put Captain America at number 3, regardless. It seems.
But
like.
number 3 sounds so low on the list.
It does, but remember,
it's really a tie between. Yes, I know there's like 500 movies, but it's a tie between Iron Man and Captain America. So really, I think it's like 1, 2, 2, 4, 5. But if I had to follow the rules, it would be Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Iron Man 2, Hulk.
Okay, so in your rankings, it would be number 3. Okay, LeRon, where are you putting Captain America?
As much as I want to say it's number 1, even though it is my favorite movie.
It's also my favorite movie. I see. This is where I get stuck because, like, I know realistically, it probably shouldn't be number 1, but it's my favorite.
Okay, here's the real deal here.
It's way better than Thor. I'm gonna put that right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thor's a mess, and yes, I did give it some help, because actually I gave Iron Man 2 some help as well. Actually,
some help for 4th place.
Well, I did. Well, actually, you guys helped sway my opinion for Iron Man 2 because I did not like that movie.
I love Iron Man 2. I think Iron Man 2
and technically, I still don't like Thor, but I mean, there were a Thor.
All right, LeRon. So out of this ranking, I'm just gonna throw it at you. Is it better than Thor?
Yes, it's better than Thor.
Is it better than Iron Man?
God, I can't believe I'm about to say this.
It's not
better than. No, it's not better than. Hold on. If I'm being serious here, there are some reasons why I automatically would say it's not better than Iron Man. But in all seriousness, I've watched Captain America: The First Avenger more times than I've seen the original Iron Man. So if we want to base it off of that, then I'd have to say that Captain America is better than Iron Man, but it's by such a minuscule stretch that I feel like the movie should be tied.
Okay,
that's what I said.
Okay, so all right, so I agree with you. Captain America is my favorite, but there are reasons I think Iron Man is probably a better film than Captain America.
Before you cast your vote, hold on. Let me ask you this: out of all 5 movies that we've seen in the MCU, is this the movie that had the most fun?
Yes. No, I would say Iron Man is probably the one that had the most fun.
Oh, come on! We're not going to talk about the stripper pole, in the private jet. We're not talking about that. Come on.
I mean, I was Iron Man this week at work. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You had a stripper pole at work? Why are we only now talking about this?
I know. I feel like we had the wrong conversation tonight.
Iron Man. See, I feel like, man,
I feel like these movies are tied. Like Iron Man and Cap are tied, and it's funny too. It's funny too because they're the end Cap movies.
All right, here we go. Mark, Captain America or Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Okay. LeRon, just spit it out. Don't think. Captain America or Iron Man?
Captain America.
Okay. Somebody has to ask me now.
Corey, Captain America or Iron
Captain
Man?
America.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, Captain America's number 1. Sorry, guys.
God, wait till we
Tony Stark did not die for this.
Wait till we come back for next year definition when Avengers finally shows up.
Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. We have a new ranking. We have a new number 1 for the first time in 5 weeks, everybody. And everyone's screaming at their podcast apps right now. But you know what? I don't care.
This is what happens when you let fanboys run it.
No, this is what happens when you give Mark Thor at number 2 last week. Okay.
We're not movie critics. If we were movie critics, none of these movies would be in a good place right now.
All
That's
right,
not
everybody.
true. Iron Man would be in a good place. Iron Man is a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Wait, hold on. What's Iron Man's Rotten Tomato score? Hold on.
While you look that up, our official MCU ranking right now, as it stands, number 5, Incredible Hulk. Number 4, Iron Man 2, too low. Number 3, Thor, too high. Number 2, Iron Man. And number 1, Captain America, the First Avenger. The next time on MCU and Review, we will be wrapping up Phase 1 with The Avengers.
The Avengers.
Man.
All right, you guys ready for this?
Hold on, Mark
Yeah,
has
go
something
ahead.
to say.
No, I think you're going to say what I was going to say, so go for it.
You guys ready for this? Okay. So according to both critics and the audience, Iron Man is the superior movie. Iron Man has a 94 critic rating and a 91 audience score, while Captain America has a 79 critic and a 75
79.
audience.
79, lower than Ant-Man.
Hold on, Ant-Man's a damn good. You know,
Lower than Ant-Man
it's time
and
to
the
sign
Wasp.
off. It's time to sign off and
So,
give and.
Okay,
and,
so
I
I
think
think
the
we need
Wasp
to-
or Ant-Man.
I think we need to
Whoa.
discuss right now what we're doing after Avengers, because we are taking a break from the movies for a couple weeks or a couple runs, right? So we're doing
Yeah.
Agent Carter. We're doing it by season, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
are we going to rank Agent Carter as a series, or are we going to rank each season in here?
We're gonna rank seasons. Well, the show only got 2 seasons, so
I know.
we can't fairly, especially when we stack it up against other MCU shows.
Mhm.
And even though I don't count the freaking Netflix ones,
Mhm.
you know, but that show actually got less seasons than any of the other shows, with the exception of Inhumans.
Mhm.
So, but you know, which
Yeah.
we're not worried about Inhumans. By the way, we're not.
Right. Also, is there anything else we want to watch in between Avengers and Iron Man 3 besides Agent Carter?
I don't think so. I think the only show that the MCU has referenced directly in the movies is Agent Carter, because Jarvis was in,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
um,
Jarvis is
Endgame.
in Agent Carter. Yeah,
and he's in Agent Carter, and then I guess Daredevil was in.
Yeah.
Spoiler alerts, but he was in
No way.
Spider-Man. But I think that's a version of Daredevil. I don't think that's the same Daredevil. So I don't think that the Netflix shows are in the MCU.
Yeah. So, do we want to do a Netflix Marvel review at some point? Is that
I would love to.
I think I would actually like to also as a separate thing from our MCU review.
I'm very hesitant.
Well, LeRon, we're already doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is now on Disney Plus, so I can cancel Netflix now. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't cancel Netflix. But we're gonna do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. also by season. Not for MCU. I think maybe we'll just do it on its own. Yeah. But yeah. So the next time on MCU in Review will be Avengers, and then the 2 following weeks will be Agent Carter, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah, me too. I never finished Agent Carter, so I'm excited.
Oh man, dude, I wanted that because there was a rumor that was going to run 3 seasons, and they needed that 3rd season. That's all I'm going to say. But anyways, that's going to wrap this episode of MCU in Review. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. Remember, you can get the show 2 weeks early for just $1 on our Patreon, patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. Also, if you want to be a producer of this show, you can subscribe at the $5 level. Really appreciate everybody who listens to the show. If you listen on iTunes or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. Really, really would appreciate that. Mark, LeRon, I appreciate your time as always. Mark, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, except in Pererra, and you can find me on Boss Rush. Also on the other standard def for we're going through the Disney animated films, and then on Boss Rush writing movie reviews, and I'm doing Moon Knight right now, and other stuff that we do on the website.
Yeah. Also, shout out to your what to watch before Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness article.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Very good article.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Everybody who sees this needs to read that as soon as this comes out, because I think Doctor Strange comes out shortly after this episode airs. And if you want to catch up, you need to get on it. LeRon, where can we find you?
All right, you can find me on social media at Exodus803. Also, that's my Twitch and YouTube channel, so check it out. Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Crossroads podcast. It's a rebranding of the Crossroads PlayStation podcast because now we have fully integrated PC and Xbox content into the fold. So there's a little bit more that we get to talk about, but we are trying to shorten the time frame for you, the runtime for you guys. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's a fun romp. We still talk about everything, and we still have fun doing it. Also, don't forget, I am part of the Boss Rush podcast team, as well as the lead host for the Boss Rush After Dark show, which you guys have to be on that. You guys have to get on that and listen to it. And that's everything. I'm just happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here. You can find me at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast. You can find me hosting Nintendo Power Block. You can also find me on the Disney Standard Definition with Mark and Stephanie. And Ed, Stephanie, and I are doing Nintendo consoles in review for Standard Def as a series. So that's you'll be able to find that. And also, you should be able to see our Indiana Jones Standard Def in review wrapped up by the time this airs. That was a very fun one. There's some surprises in there I think you guys will want to listen to. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Have a good one.